For the third time under Danowski, the Duke Blue Devils are the kings of college lacrosse.
They are the Celtics and Lakers of college lacrosse, the two most storied programs in Division I. Johns Hopkins and Syracuse collide today in the quarterfinals. Kevin Rice and the Orange won the regular season meeting. The winner this afternoon heads to Philadelphia and championship weekend. Not every day you get to see Syracuse and Hopkins this early in the postseason. Anish Shroff alongside former North Carolina All-American Ryan Flanagan. Yesterday in Denver, we saw the new frontier of college lacrosse. Today, it's the old guard in Annapolis.
The other side of the story, right? Tradition-rich programs, strong alumni bases, programs that are used to success and playing at this time of year.
These four teams have combined for 89 trips to championship weekend and 25 national championships. The challenge for Syracuse today, Ryan, will be stopping Ryan Brown of the Blue Jays.
The best shooter in college lacrosse. He does a great job at getting his hands free and can finish. Got a ridiculous stroke. When he gets his hands free, when Will Stanwyck and Shaq Stanwyck can get him the ball with time and room, he's as good as anyone in the country.
In a game against the Orange in 2014, Ryan Brown scored 8 goals on 11 shots. Syracuse and Hopkins, two of the best. Get ready to go. We send it to Eamon McEnany in Annapolis.
Thanks, Anish. Quite simply, it is the rivalry that has defined college lacrosse. For the 13th time, Johns Hopkins and Syracuse meet in the postseason. The two winningest programs clash once again from Annapolis. And we welcome you to the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. And this much we know. A team from the West will play for the championship on Memorial Day as Notre Dame and Denver have advanced. They will meet in a rematch on Saturday. Which two blue blood programs will join them on Broad Street? Our afternoon today begins with Hopkins and Syracuse, and then two teams who know each other very well, North Carolina against Maryland. Hello and welcome to Annapolis. I'm Eamon McEnany. Happy to be joined once again by Quint Kesenick. Paul Carcaterra will join us from down on the field momentarily. Yankees, Red Sox, Alabama, Auburn, Cowboys, Steelers, whichever one you want to use. This is the rivalry. You played in it. What are the memories that are conjured up when you hear Hopkins, Syracuse, NCAA tournament?
Two programs that have tremendous mutual respect, but also there's an edge here, kind of like the Cold War, kind of like the good guys and the bad guys. World-class players and big game hunters. You go to Johns Hopkins, you go to Syracuse to play in this game. It's all about dreams, and this is what you dream about when you're a 6-year-old.
You didn't leave me any time to ask you who are the good guys or who are the bad guys. I got to go straight to the edge.
We got a lot of good guys in our edge. Let's start with Kevin Rice, senior quarterback of the Syracuse offense, a Tuaraton Final 5 candidate, ACC Offensive Player of the Year, really cerebral. And then Ryan Brown, 58 goals. That's the single season record at Johns Hopkins, and they've been playing lacrosse since 1888.
For more on Ryan Brown, we go down to the field and bring in Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Eamon, the NBA has Golden State's Steph Curry, who shoots with an effortless poetry in motion stroke. Lacrosse's version, well, that's Johns Hopkins Jr. Ryan Brown. His shooting versatility puts opposing goalies in a tough spot because there is no way to scout number 4's tendencies. His ability to change release points and shot location is unmatched in the college game. Right hand, left hand, inside out. Brown has mastered it all and can go anywhere with the rock on net. Expect him to find seams in the Cuse defense and play tricks on goalie Bobby Wardwell.
Despite 115 career goals, Dave Petromala says he can do more, attacking the cage and be more dynamic with the ball. The face-off game, as always, will be huge. Ben Williams has been a game changer for Syracuse. A trip to Philadelphia is on the line. Kennedy wins it forward and gets it to Holden Catoni, so the Blue Jays will go to work with the rock first. Tinney with it for Hopkins. Now Catoni through the box. In goal for the Orange, the veteran Bobby Wardwell out of Clifton Park, New York, a career record of 27-8. He had 6 saves in the opening round win over Marist. This is Wells Stanwyck being guarded by Jay McDermott. Syracuse bench looking for a ward, no call. Our officials today, Dave Pinciero, Doug Donovan, and Brian Abbott. Here's Brown, he doesn't pull the trigger this time, now he does left, off the mark. Race to the sideline. They say it stays Hopkins' ball. Johns Hopkins looked far from a quarterfinal team opening up the season 4-6. Now they're about to be a man up. A 6-game winning streak started with an overtime win against Penn State. A free possession with the flag down against Syracuse. Shot and a goal! The Blue Jays are on the board. Wells Stanwyck with his 23rd of the season.
In those 6 wins, the offense is perked up. McDermott for a slash. Stanwyck knows the green light is on. It is a free possession, and he takes the ball aggressively up the right-handed side. Nice clear out. Look at him use his strength. Jump shot changes levels.
You look at him, Stanwyck, if he can get some dodging effectiveness from behind, this Hopkins offense will be tough to defend, Q. They have the playmakers off ball, initiators.
There's the slash on the double team, so it'll be a 3-on-2 face-off as the penalty carries over. So John Desko now really needs Williams to win the face-off to himself and run some time off this penalty. It's Kennedy again. There's Williams winning the clamp. Now and Williams wins it. So a huge ground ball by Ben Williams. Save Snyder. Ground ball pickup by Keller. So now we will get a look at the extra man unit for Johns Hopkins, which coming in converting at 46.7%. Catoni with 11, and then the specialist number 7, Patrick Frazier. The sniper up top has 9. He's on the field.
Yeah, 7 in blue. He'll start inside, he'll peel out, and he's got an absolute cannon. Left-handed.
Tried the hidden ball trick that worked last week. I'm lost. Wardwell wasn't put off the rebound. Frazier on cue. Good job by Mullins to go out and get a stick on that shot. 5 seconds left in the extra man. Penalty released. So now Frazier will come off. There's a shot. Crawley picks up the rebound. Paul, what are your keys for the Orange?
Midfield scoring. You know what you're going to get with that attack unit with Kevin Rice and Dylan Donahue. Nicky Galasso and Schoonmaker need to be huge. And then off-ball defense. This Hopkins offense moves so well without the ball. You got to contain their picks and their ability to come off those scrapes.
There's Kieran Eisler drawing the switch. Now Brown being guarded by a short stick. Now they have Stanwyck being guarded by a short stick behind, and the defenders hung up. Stanwyck gets inside, goes in the crease. What's the call? Well, the officials have 2 different calls. Now here comes the push call. One official called in the crease, the other called push, so it'll stay Blue Jays ball.
Left side of your screen, the toughest call. Stanwyck gets inside positions. Mullins, 11, gets him in the back.
Now here's Shaq Stanwyck. He gets his hands free. Wardwell makes the save. He was ready for that one. Gets it over to Bobby Tate.
Easy stop by Wardwell, coming in at 52%. At one point this year, he was at 58% goaltender. He hasn't been sharp lately. The book on him, changed levels, high to low. He tends to lock his knees.
Hopkins already with 7 shots, but just the 1 goal. In goal for the Blue Jays. A roller coaster year for Eric Schneider, but he is on a roll right now. And now we get a look at maybe the top 6 offensive players as a team in college lacrosse here with this first midfield group. And quickly they pulled Golasso, so a change in strategy. Normally Johns Hopkins has pulled Hakeem Leckie. Now here's Schoonmaker, being guarded by Crawley. Here's Leckie.
Motion offense, no soft spots among the top 6 for Syracuse. It's like a great salad where all the parts complement each other.
So Hakeem Leckie has to strap up his helmet. Actually, as you take a look at it now, it looks like the strategy is to look like a double pull in the midfield for a minute, but here's Rice being guarded by Fields. Looking inside, catch made, save, Snyder. Denying Golasso, but Schoonmaker keeps it Syracuse ball. Now Leckie being guarded by Phil Castronova. Rice, the offensive player of the year in the ACC. Forcing the issue on Fields. And he draws a flag. Not a very popular call here in Maryland. Now Donahue being guarded by the short stick. Gets underneath with the swim. Shoots it wide, but now we'll get the call. From up here, it looked like a nickel dimer, but there'll be a man down anyway. Dave Petramala certainly not happy with it.
Blue, 9-1, 1 minute, slash.
Quite honestly, if you're Dave Petramala and they're going to call it this tight today, in the long run, that may actually help Johns Hopkins because their extra man unit is exceptional. But so is Syracuse,
yes, coming in
49%.
49%, and the key, number 17, Dylan Donahue with 15 extra man goals. That's more than 26 of the 69 teams playing Division I lacrosse.
They got the outside shooters that give that inside opportunity for 17 and white.
Stotts, they leave alone. Now Donahue, goal line extended, one more. Here's one of those shooters, Schoonmaker. We are tied.
Donahue's the headliner on the extra man, Eamon. But the reason the sniper's outside, DeJoe 12 and white, Schoonmaker 77. These guys can stretch a defense and force you to play the perimeter. And if you spend too much time on Donahue inside, 77 comes to the party, Q.
As you roll this here, you see the defense is on the carousel. When the ball goes to Stotts, let's freeze it right here. On the backside, you've got one defender, you've got another one in the middle. They've got to get on their horses and come near side, and then one more. And watch how they're late now as this plays out. You see the one player slant down to the crease. That's his responsibility, or someone has got to slide and rotate across the top. Hopkins not on the same page defensively, and it's basically a 3-on-2 on that side of the field.
56 career goal for the redshirt senior out of Portland, Oregon. Now Williams. Pellegrino comes up with it for the Blue Jays as Messina can't get the GB. Now here's Castronova in the open field. One more to Brown, the sharpshooter. Hits the pipe. He'd like to have that one back. That's usually money in the bank for the Blue Jays.
His bread and butter is an overhand or 3/4 arm release that he yanks down to those low pipes. He mixes this up, left side of your screen. Watch him go high release, high location. Aim for the pipe, you hit the pipe. They're that precise.
Tinney down the alley. Mullins looking to double, does not. Now Stanwick as Mullins hung up. Shot, save, Wardwell. That one hurt. Ground ball for Young. 2 saves for Wardwell.
If you look right now, Syracuse clearing the ball. This next defensive possession for Hopkins, don't expect to see Mike Pellegrino full strength. He limped to the sideline that last time on the field, Q.
He came up with the ground ball, and then so we see Derek Kihembo, number 2, out there. They're not very deep with the poles to begin with, Quint.
Now this is a defense dealing with the injury to Rob Enright. Game 4, season ender. Eddie Morris also out.
So now Syracuse sends its second midfield group out there, headlined by number 22, Jordan Evans, who had 5 a week ago, but they pulled Barber. So now here's Evans. Let's see how much more confidence he's playing with as he attacks Joe Carlini.
Hey, stay Bama! Hey, Spider, stay Spider!
Highly touted recruit out of the Syracuse area.
Hey!
This is Nick Weston. So they're shutting off Stotts off the balls. Catoni's out there. Now Stotts goes to the crease. The officials are having their conference to see if they want to put the shot clock on as Rice attacks Fields. Stutter step. Hands free, saves Snyder. Critical ground ball here. And Kelly comes up with it. Kelly was all over the field in the ground ball department a week ago. And Johns Hopkins routed the Cavaliers.
In terms of Johns Hopkins keys, we'll keep it simple. Goaltending, 55%, and rebound control. You saw that last shot deflecting in front. Snyder is like a human pinball machine. Rebound control is huge. And then face-off. Get to 50% and tie up Ben Williams in terms of his ability to make a quick escape.
Schneider already with 3 saves. And it's the midfield group of Eisler, Radzewicz, and Crawley for the Blue Jays. Shot in the goal, Stanwyck has his second.
Radzewicz draws the double team. Stanwyck has a sliver of an angle. Hopkins behind 2 Stanwyck goals, up 2-1.
The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. You and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together. And in part by the 306 horsepower Lexus GS. Experience it, and there is no going back.
Welcome back to Annapolis. Earlier this season, Paul Carcaterra sat down with Coach Dave Pietramala to discuss the passing of one of his players.
January 26th, tragedy hit this program. Jeremy Huber, freshman defenseman from the state of Nevada, passed away of natural causes. Describe that day.
It was the worst day of my life. We lost a young man who was a really good person. You know, and a lot of times when someone passes or something happens, people always talk nice about them. Everybody that talks about him means, you know, he was a great young man. In a short period of time, he touched a lot of lives. And I don't have a book for this. And my job is to have the answers. And you know me well enough to know I take it personally that I should have the answers.
What's been the message to your team?
Put one foot in front of the other. We're going to take it 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. We're going to do it all together, and we're going to be there for one another.
It was his birthday the day after they beat Maryland. Coach Pietramala telling us this week the whole team called Jeremy's family, FaceTimed with them, and, you know, they have the 19 on their jerseys, on their helmets, and, you know, Coach Pietramala this week, very honest with us. There's some bad days, obviously, the days where you just get hit by it, and you're never really going to fully get over it.
No, and the impact differs from some members of the freshman class compared to a senior, as Jeremy was on campus for about 5 months. But this team has been through a lot. They've been extremely resilient.
Pellegrino back out there as Moreland takes the face-off, and Pellegrino picks up the GB, but the wild pass ends up in a stick of a Stanwyck anyway as Shaq comes up with it. Quint, we talked about it, 4 and 6, now on a roll. Offensively, where do you see the difference with this Blue Jay team?
I think they have more ball carriers this year than they have in the past. I love their what's called a big little game, which is a pick and roll game behind the goal where they create and change matchups.
Q, I was in their huddle. That's exactly what they want to do on this possession. Stay away from 28 in white. They want to get the other guys behind the cage in regards to their matchups. Stanwyck, 32. The other Stanwyck, his older brother Wells, 42. They have the green light, but it's against certain matchups, and this pick game allows them to do it.
Here is Stanwyck, already with 2 goals.
Eamon, it's very similar to college basketball with a pick between a point guard and a center, where they try to change that matchup so the offense has either a quickness or a size advantage.
McDermott denying Stanwyck, but not enough as he gets just above goal line extended. He has 3 already, all 3 goals courtesy of number 42.
I haven't seen Wells Stanwyck with this assertive attitude this season. Pressing the goal with strength and balance. Little inside roll. Once again, a terrific sharp angle shooter as Wardwell locks up. Stanwyck jams that ball down low.
The green light is there, Q. In that huddle, Bobby Benson, offensive coordinator, told those guys, stay away from 28 in white. McCartney, stay away from 11 in white. Brandon Mullins. Everyone else, green light, get the pick game like you mentioned behind, allow them that space, and they're going after it. The green light is there.
And there doesn't seem to be a double team from the Orange defense.
Whistle against Mortland as he and Williams were tied up. It appears now the game plan is to use 2 against Ben Williams. Now Leckie. Schoonmaker and Golasso out there, top midfield group. Ton of game experience in this midfield unit. Schoonmaker, Syracuse's only goal, being guarded by Carlini. Now Leckie. Gets his hands free, shoots high. Gets a pop late from Castronova.
Leckie, last year a 12% shooter. This season, 30%. Right-handed with great quickness and speed. 8 in white.
Here's Donahue being guarded by Nicky Schuler. See that shake and bake move, which is why so many teams are tempted to pull number 8 in white. He goes at Castronova again. Draws the quick slide. Up ahead to Golasso. He shoots, saves Schneider. Kelly with another ground ball. If you're a Johns Hopkins fan, you have to like what you see from Eric Schneider right now. 4 saves.
You mentioned the roller coaster. 43% when Johns Hopkins was 4 and 6. He's 60% since.
But they get a turnover off the ride. Stotts to Rice. Blue Jays able to recover for now. First turnover of the game almost leads to a goal as Donahue hits the pipe. Now Leckie back on the field.
These are the type of possessions that pay off later in the game. It's a hot, humid day. An extended offensive possession is like a body punch.
And now you have Radzewicz on Donahue, which leads to matchups. Advantages for the Q. Stotts gets taken down, no call. Still now.
How is that not a holding violation? Either way, the defender's either hooking the offensive player or the offensive player's taking the defender's stick and clamping down on it.
Pellegrino trying to stick with Rice. Here, Dave Petramalo saying, stay low, stay low. So Pellegrino wins that matchup. Now they have a shorty on Golasso. Leckie, hands free, shoots high. The possession continues. Looks like they're jumping into a zone off of the dead ball.
That's a fatigue issue. Dave Petramalo maybe even taking a timeout defensively, but they are in the zone.
We have said throughout this season, you do not want to zone this Syracuse team. Carolina tried that in the ACC tournament. It did not work out. Now Golasso gets a great look, and it doesn't work here.
Zone busters galore. Nicky Golasso putting together one of the great senior mini campaigns in all of college lacrosse. It's his 34th of the season. He's exploded this second half. You play him as a Dodger because of his offensive experience playing behind the cage as an attackman, but now he's got the range, Q.
That zone too condensed and a step late. I think the call was a timeout when that ball went out on the end line. You had 6 men on that Blue Jay defense who were gassed, and it showed.
Golasso started his collegiate career at North Carolina. Believed to be the first player to be first team All-ACC at 2 separate schools. And now Williams. Moreland has a beat on it, but can't come up with it. Kicks it to Schuler, now transition. Here comes Moreland. They pick him up. Brown again. What a fake. Brown still has it. Save Wardwell. Everyone in the stadium thought 4 was going to fire it, but Wardwell was ready for the fake. He has 5 saves, and we go to the other end.
Senior goalie from the Albany area, Shenenda Ho. Watch him hold his pipe. Good body save. He's playing his best when he's moving his feet. I talked about earlier, sometimes he tends to lock up and not bend his knees. When he bends his knees, he moves from pipe to pipe as well as anybody.
Now Barber, some fresh legs for the Cuse. He's out there with Weston and Evans. Now Stotts attacking Schur. Barber forcing the issue with the shoulder.
Eamon, you mentioned the fresh legs. I know you guys are in the AC up top. It is hot and humid on this turf.
You're going to have to check with whoever set this booth up, Garth. There's no AC working, but Stotts is.
Six Nations, Ontario. Played for the Iroquois Nationals last summer in the World Championships in Denver. He can do a little bit of everything. Great body control, the ability to deal with physical pressure, poise around the net. He had 4 against Hopkins in the Dome earlier this season. I think he's poised for a big afternoon. Randy Stotts.
Cuse has options right there with Stotts, Quint, because he can throw that shot behind his back. So when he's driving on the defender, when the stick's in front, he can roll back. If he goes back to his right and that stick then goes downfield, he throws it behind his back.
Quint, you mentioned his summer in Denver, 13 goals and 8 assists in the World Championships. And now a timeout taken by John Desko, as they might hold for 1 with 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Miggy and the Tigers clash with the Cards, led by Matt Carpenter. Baseball rules on ESPN. Tigers against Cardinals tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN, and watch ESPN. And images of the World Series, Tigers and Cardinals, and their meetings through the years as we try to listen in on John Desko in the Syracuse huddle.
You know they're going to take off. They come on the ball. First thing we do is get back. We'll see some time here. They go zone regular. If not, we're go right. You ready on the switch, Jack?
Oh, look at. Hey, how about a center down switch? Yeah. I do it like. All right. Well, that'll be you down low, right? You got the pull, right? Yeah. He's gonna come off you. No doubt about it.
I checked it. They could come with switching with Kev.
I wouldn't do it. I'd get it around like this. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do your dodge until it's about.
Where's there? Tell me down to your line. So tell me.
Yeah, I'll run past.
Yeah, be ready for pressure. Ready for the zone. Come on, ready for the zone. Let's go. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Bring it in. Ready. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Let's check in with Paul.
John Desko calls that timeout, Eamon. He's expecting Hopkins to go in the zone. He'll get in their base zone offense. You saw on the last possession when they went to zone, Randy Stotts. You have Nicky Golasso, these outside shooters. If they go man, they're going to have an overload, Quentin. What they'll do there is put about 4 guys on one side of the field, have a playmaker ready to dodge, break a defense down, and make that slide long for Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, that double team from Hopkins, and it appears like they want it to come from Golasso, 5 and White's man, where they're going to put him in the hot area, basically. They'll dodge at him, force his defender to make a move towards the ball carrier, and then pop the ball to 5 and White, Nicky Golasso.
We also heard Kevin Donahue talk about when to go, when to start to make that move, and he told him to wait and be patient. Don't go right away. So they do indeed pull Golasso, and it looks like they come out in man. And now Stotts, as they force the switch. Now Leckie turns Castronova around. And does not draw the flag. Excuse me. Now Stotts against Pellegrino with 15.
Now you're just playing.
Feeds. Donahue can't make the grab, but Schoonmaker recovers with 10. Galasso with 7. Tied up by Schuler. Looking to feed the crease. Here comes the double. Oh, and the pass almost goes into the goal, but the Hopkins defense comes up with the stop. So we are off and running from Annapolis. The rivalry that has defined the sport with a spot in championship weekend on the line. The veterans coming through for the Cuse. Wells Stanwick doing damage for the Blue Jays. Men's Lacrosse Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. When they met earlier this year up at Carrier Dome, Johns Hopkins led 5-2 after 1. Right now we have a tied ball game, and NCAA Lacrosse Championship quarterfinal action continues later today on ESPN2. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Maryland facing off against North Carolina at 2:30. Maryland won the game in the regular season, but North Carolina favored in the rematch.
Terps have the best defense in the nation. Carolina hasn't been to championship weekend since 1993.
John Tillman, the head coach of Maryland, 3-0 in the quarterfinals, and Williams jumps there, so his first violation of the half. If Syracuse violates 2 more times in the second quarter, it'll be a penalty. But now it's Tinney. Quickly attacking. Let's check in with Paul.
Head coach Dave Petramala just told his defense, make sure you are turning your heads when you are not guarding the ball. The Syracuse offense moves relentlessly in that crease area and trying to get their playmakers to push the ball to the middle of the field.
Now Stanwick being guarded by McDermott. Over to Katoni. Katoni has the defense hung up. Up top feed, shot, save, Wardwell.
Wow, what a stop. I mean, you talk about 7 yards, point blank, time and room, plant your feet, let it rip, change levels, low and away, boom, the goalie matches up. This is a beautiful save. Talked about Wardwell moving his feet. His 6th save and his best.
And Dave Petramala telling us this week that he scouts well. He knows the tendencies of opponent shooters maybe as well as any goalie in the country.
Q, when you look at Wardwell, why does he give up less rebounds than Schneider?
Softer hands, I think. You know, Schneider on many shots to his stick side is just not soft in his hands and his wrists.
But the Orange turn it over, so it goes back the other way. And they go back to Katoni, Brown, and Tinney at the midfield. This is Wells Stanwick having a big day so far. Gets it over to his brother Shaq. Here's Tinney attacking Grimm. Gets his hands free, shoots high to high. The Blue Jays back on top.
Down the stretch, someone needs to remind Joel Tinney that he is a freshman. He scored tons of big goals down the stretch, regular season game winner against Penn State. He's got ice in his veins, and he will attack. Quint, you mentioned more Dodgers on the Hopkins offense late in the season. Well, 55 has been the guy up top.
Tinney is a strong left-hander. If you freeze it right here, as he dusts his man, you get some hot guys. Who's going to help defensively? Who's the double? You tell me. Syracuse got 3 guys who potentially could help out on Tinney. They all elect to stay home. No one goes. Tinney makes them pay. Freshman with a burst, pit bull type player with strong left-handed tendencies, but that's the 2nd goal. Syracuse defense, a lack of communication.
Paul mentioned the game winner against Penn State in overtime. Dave Petramala points to that as the turning point of the season. If you lose that game, you fall to 4-7. You start to question everything. That was the turning point, that along with the 4th quarter run against Maryland. Williams able to come up with it, gets popped. And now Dave Petramala with the timeout as Moreland comes up with the ground ball. And quickly, just like that, momentum on the side of the Blue Jays. So Dave Petramala's club doing very well in the face-off department. And Williams, got to play with your head up. Gets popped by Ryan Brown. Blue Jay ball when we return to Annapolis.
Carolina All-American Ryan Flanagan at the half. We'll look ahead to Maryland and UNC. What have you seen so far from Hopkins and Syracuse?
I think Hopkins has done a much better job than expected on faceoffs. They've made it into a scrap. They've let Joel Tinney, they let Michael Pellegrino get involved, which that's key.
Hopkins has won the majority of the faceoffs from Ben Williams. Back to Eamon and the gang in Annapolis.
All right, Anish, thank you very much as we welcome you back to beautiful Annapolis. The sun is out, a beautiful day for the quarterfinals. Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the NCAA men's lacrosse semifinals on May 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA men's lacrosse semifinals, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. The guys in the studio touched on it. For more on the face-off game, we go down to Paul.
Well, Eamon, Syracuse's Ben Williams, one of the most feared face-off men in all of college lacrosse. Hopkins is doing a great job, and I overheard the Hopkins Blue Jay face-off unit talking to each other. Hold Ben Williams up. Do not let it become a one-on-one matchup. Crash the wings, and in doubt, push that ball, flush it out to the wings so you make your guys on those wings, those hashes at the 50, do all the work. One-on-one, you're not going to beat Williams. They're up 5-4 on him right now.
Feet inside, open, Crawley. The goal is good.
Crawley's been on fire the last 6 games. Stanwyck draws the double from D'Agostino and a well-timed cut from Crawley, who fills the seam. He flashes the target, maintains his poise, and just places that ball by Wardwell.
One of Syracuse's deficiencies, Q, is off-ball defense. They're struggling to cover the guys in that crease area.
I was going to say 60% of Hopkins' goals this season have been assisted.
Crawley growing up on Long Island in Port Washington. His first youth coach, Marty Bergen, the former Johns Hopkins All-American, 1983. Played in that memorable championship game against Syracuse.
Tore his hamstring. He was the main storyline in that game.
Now Williams and the Orange win the faceoff. The other key thing about the faceoff game to pay attention to in the second half, it's a warm day. Ben Williams is usually a one-man show there. As Paul mentioned, 2 guys going at him today, Moreland and Kennedy. But right now, Syracuse ball down by 2. Now, one more. Good recovery defense by the Blue Jays. But they end up with a tough matchup behind the net. Quick slide from Kelly, and Galasso can't handle the pass. Kelly again with the ground ball. Quickly ahead to Tinney. Numbers for the Blue Jays. Flat out 4-on-3. He's going to keep it himself. Do they have backup? They do not. He was feeling it, but no one read that he was going to let it fly. So now we go the other way with Schoonmaker.
You got options there when you carry that in. In hindsight, Tinney should have thrown that ball to the point man and then maybe gotten it back. A little give and go. The point man is the quarterback of that fast break.
Now Leckie off the mark today. That's his 3rd shot. That's high. Paul, how's the attackman supposed to read that as far as backup? Or is that just not as big a concern as getting open?
Those bottom 2 guys at the fast break, it's an L shape. Those bottom 2 guys, if they know that he's pulling up, and once he sets his feet, they have to run to the end line to be the first guy to the end line, closest to the ball.
They faked the double on Rice, but forced it out of his stick anyway. More Schoonmaker being guarded by Carlini. Kelly now on Stotts. Some Pellegrino to Close and Donahue. Now they switch.
Hey, 4!
Hey, underneath here.
Stotts gets a step, gets inside, but shoots wide. See the strength there from Randy Stotts, 6'2", 202 pounds.
Strong right-handed tendencies from 45 and White.
Off the crease, Donahue. Rice to Donahue one more time.
This is what makes Dylan Donahue one of the most feared inside players in college lacrosse. He only needs the ball on his stick for a millisecond, and he does an incredible job of understanding where the goalie is. So the left-handed cut by Donahue on the right-handed goalie Schneider. Look at the location on that shot, Q.
Great out-of-bounds play. Freeze it right here. You've got the ball carrier, you've got the goal scorer. Watch this action this way with a little screen set by Stotts and how these two players inside, little rub, defense switches, but you're late. We've seen that from Syracuse all season long off out-of-bounds play. Very similar to college basketball.
Donahue with 48. First player to score a 40-plus goal season since Stephen Keogh back in 2009. 4 different goal scorers for the Orange. Moreland can't come up with it. Williams back in the play. And now Messina gets the ground ball for Syracuse. So Syracuse has won back-to-back faceoffs. They've won now 6 of the 11 faceoffs here in the first half. So now Derek Kihembo, number 2 in blue, out in the middle of the field to play the long stick midfielder position. He picks up Weston, who gets it to Barber through the substitution gate. Rice goes away from the pick. Fields trying to tie him up. Now Stotts coming around. Bodies up the short stick, save Schneider. The rebound though again. And Schuler with the ground ball. That's a big time stop on Randy Stotts. 6 saves for number 6.
Stotts so dangerous on the corner. Left side of your screen. Anticipation as a goalie. You see that shooter drop the stick to his hip or below. From that range, you have to take chances. You have to take educated guesses. Schneider did that with his body and stick, and he was right.
So now Brown. He's been quiet, courtesy of Mr. Wardwell. Now Tinney uses his man. What a move. Hands free again. Shot blocked. And now they have numbers. Grimm in the middle of the field. No one's going to catch him. He gets it to the point to Stotts. Save Schneider. Quick restart now. Carlini ties up Rice.
Eamon, right now you look at the third midfield for Syracuse entering the field. They do not use this unit much, but this is a different type of weather pattern right now. Storms in the air, it's really humid. They need these guys to give that first and second group some rest.
That's DeJoe with the ball right now. Matt Lane, who he passes it to, and Ryan Simmons. So 16, 44, and 12 in white. Some fresh legs for John Desko with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Quint, we say it every postseason. It begins in frigid temperatures with snow all over the field, and sometimes it ends in steam baths.
I thought we saw that yesterday in the Albany-Notre Dame game. I thought the Irish played a ton of people, and I thought it paid off in that fourth quarter. And that could be the case here today.
Now Donahue being guarded by the short stick. How quick are they to slide to Joe Carlini? Doesn't matter. The bullet. Simmons. We are tied.
You got to mark this goal. If you're an Orange fan, you throw your third midfield out there. You choose some clock, you get a layup. Watch this pass from Dylan Donahue. The accuracy from 17 in white. It's just a little dart to the inside. Boom, it's right on the money.
Q, there's someone up in central New York right now smiling. That's Roy Simmons Jr. Syracuse head coach, 6 national titles. That's his grandson right there, Ryan Simmons. Has huge upside, can shake and bake from the outside. You see what he's able to do inside in the finish.
Five different goal scorers now for the Orange. 7:35 left to play in the half. Moreland against Williams. Moreland pushes it forward to Pellegrino. Pellegrino has a step. He has 3 already, so they slide to him. Good recovery by Mullins.
Great angle play by 11 in white defensively. Wells Stanwyck, though, 42 in blue, needs to make a decision there. He's fading behind the goal, almost like he was in a backup responsibility. Syracuse had one less offensive player to cover.
So now Crawley on the invert, being guarded by Messina. Step down opportunity. There's Brown, but another save by Wardwell. 7 saves for Wardwell, and it was interesting talking to some people about this matchup. He had sort of slipped into the question mark territory for this game.
Bobby Wardwell's play over the last 3 or 4 games has been below par for him, what it was prior. As I said earlier, he was a 58% save guy. It's dipped all the way down to 52%. Only had 5 saves against Hopkins in their first meeting, but he's sharp today.
You can obviously tell he watched a lot of film on Brown and went over that scouting report. Then does the onus go to Brown to change planes and change his game plan, or do you keep firing?
Look, if I'm Ryan Brown, I stay with my bread and butter.
Galasso through the substitution pattern, can't make the catch. He gets popped, and John Desko is livid. Look how far out onto the field John Desko is. He is stalking the officials. He's going to be lucky if he doesn't get teed up. He is stalking the officials. It's Galasso slow to get up. Wow. We have not seen John Desko that animated in the years we have been covering Syracuse lacrosse.
He's 35 in blue.
Was it late? That's certainly not high. Oh, yes it is. Helmet to helmet. My bad.
More than 5 yards away from that ball.
First angle looked like it was the shoulder, so Kelly certainly. But no flag.
He should be out of the game. Coach, I didn't see it at all.
You heard that conversation. He should be out of the game, and the referee admitted, at least one of them, that he didn't see it. There's 3, obviously. But a huge non-call here. Be interesting to see. Galasso the rest of the half and the rest of the game with under 6 to play.
Syracuse polling. That's their long pole defender on Connor Reed, 16 in blue. Tinney and Holden Catoni have to start becoming more assertive and become dodging threats, Eamon.
Reed is the distributor. He draws the slide and moves the ball. Now ground ball off the sloppy pass, and Stanwyck comes up with it. And now they make a call. Did they get the timeout? Wow. That's not going to be a popular call with the orange bench.
Not a good sign when you're bailing your best attackman out to save possession.
John Desko obviously still wants an explanation for the non-call on a play in the middle of the field seen by 3 officials. You see the 2 officials right there. That's certainly helmet to helmet.
I have never seen Coach Desko that animated.
Dave Pinciero feeling the brunt of his criticism right there.
Coach Desko is livid. Quint, you obviously didn't play at Syracuse. You would have seen him at practice. He did that to me a few times when I wasn't following marching orders, but he went right after the refs again. He said that should have been 2 minutes to hit on Nicky Galasso. Blatant head-to-head, and no excuse for that guy not to be in the box.
I was talking to Coach Desko yesterday about concussions. Obviously, head injury is serious, regardless of the sport. In lacrosse, we've gone out of our way now to protect the student athletes, but Syracuse has a basically at Syracuse University, if you're diagnosed with 3 concussions at Syracuse, you're done as a lacrosse player, as a football player as well, or as an athlete at that university. So it is something that the Orange and their administration have approached proactively.
You know, he's looking for a 2-minute non-releasable. That certainly conjures up memories of one of the most memorable calls of the regular season in the ACC between North Carolina and Notre Dame. Quint, North Carolina had the lead. They turned it over. Here it is, Matt Cavanaugh attacking. And this is one of the huge calls that, you know, is it 2 minutes non-releasable? Is it late?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's not as late, because the ball's at the goalie's feet. He's within 5 yards of a loose ball. Is it high? Yeah. I think this deserved a 1-minute non-releasable call, not the 2-minute non-releasable. The Irish made him pay, 3 extra man goals and the win. But that call sparked all sorts of debate in the sport. Are we getting too careful?
And certainly there are those who think it was an overreaction to the fallout of the 3 players falling into the net. But it has not carried over there because they're letting them play here today. It really is astonishing no call on that Galasso hit.
the hitter, safety is the onus of the hitter. And in Evan Powell's case, he's responsible for what happens to Kavanaugh and Kieran Burke. So I thought it should have been a 1 minute non-releasable. Not a 2.
So now Brown being guarded by a short stick, and this is the situation where Dave Petromalo said be more assertive, and he is.
Everyone knows Ryan Brown's prowess as an outside shooter. His dodging is taking his game to another level. Ohio State regular season decided to short stick him, put one of their non-close defenders on him. Again, a short stick on Ryan Brown again. Custom a long pole. One of the 4 defenders on the field with a 6-foot pole. He's going to eat up a short stick every time, Q.
Ryan Brown, junior from Calvert Hall.
As we take a look at a bio blast on the junior, brought to you by Sector Spider ETFs.
36% shooter this season. He's taken over 163 shots prior to this game. That's more than 10 looks a game. That's a huge number.
And again, single season record for goals, and the coach wants him to do more, but you see there why, because he can do more. So Johns Hopkins back on top with 4:46 left to play in the half. Someone jumped, and it's Moreland, so it'll be Syracuse ball. First violation of the half on the Blue Jays. Now does Galasso go out with this first group? He is ready indeed to go back out on the field, so a good sign. Good to see number 5 in white back out on the field. And he draws the pole with Pellegrino again. Lecky's gotten his looks, just hasn't put him on cage yet.
Wants to set up his right hand, needs some space.
Draws the slide from Pellegrino. So a quick switch for the Blue Jays. Now they end up with a short stick Castronova on Rice.
Invert defense. Hopkins will play a bit of a 5-man zone behind this mismatch.
Yeah, a very tough team to zone with all their shooters. And crisp playmakers.
Stay 4! Stay 4! Go 4!
Schuler on Donahue now.
Lefty, lefty.
Come underneath.
And they fall back into a man-to-man.
It's good talk by the goaltender, using first names.
Shot clock on.
Barking out tendencies.
Schoonmaker down the alley. He gets his hands free. Saved by Schneider. That'll reset the shot clock. And it'll stay Syracuse ball. Not reset the shot clock, excuse me, wipe it off. Now Galasso gets underneath and scores. So obviously number 5 in white is fine.
Redshirt senior from Long Island, started his career at North Carolina as an attackman. So he's versatile enough to dodge from behind the goal or on the wing. Hopkins defense all spread out. There's no support. Shake and bake little underneath move. And who's got more poise and finesse around the goal than Nicky Galasso? So good to see him explode and come back to his career form this year as a redshirt senior after a pretty rocky career, both physically and emotionally.
ACC Rookie of the Year at North Carolina, then had health issues, never got to 100%. Maybe never really felt comfortable that far away from home on Long Island. Decided to transfer. And health issues continued, but now off the break. Look at that passing save, Schneider. Wow, mark that one down with 2:57 left to play, and it leads to a run out. Carlini, Brown's gonna get a look. If they get it to him, he keeps it himself though. Now off the restart.
It's the second time that the Hopkins ball carrier on a stone-cold 4-on-3 has shot the ball wide. You got Ryan Brown, 4 in blue, as your point man. He has a hammer. Get him the rock.
And they came off Brown that time.
Draw and dump. Know your role. Throw it to the goal scorers.
Got to demand the ball, too, if you're Ryan Brown. You should be screaming at that guy, Q.
Stanwyck off the pick. They knocked the player into the crease. Oh, that's not going to be a popular call with the Blue Jays. But it is a turnover. You hear one of the coaches say interference. What's the call there, Quint?
D'Agostino ran into the pick player, and the pick player lost his balance and fell into the crease. 83 in white. Tight coverage. You got to choose a side there. I'm not sure why that isn't interference on Syracuse, because the pick is a stationary target. He runs him over into the crease.
Now Evans being guarded by Castanova in a matchup of the double deuce. Looking inside, goes to the perimeter instead. Barber, nice pass diagonal, what a look. But Schneider gets a piece of it. Is he ready again? Yes, oh my. Standing on his tall here, 3 big saves. Rice can't put it in. Wow, what a flurry of action here. Now a slide inside, he can't stop that one. Rice to Donahue again.
There's only so much you can ask of your senior goaltender. I think Eric Schneider playing his best lacrosse of the season, but Q, you mentioned earlier the rebounds of Schneider. It's a second, it's a third opportunity for this Orange offense, and when you give guys like Donahue and Rice second and third chances, they are too smart. They will make you pay off of loose balls. Scoop and look is what they live by in the Orange offense. Get the ball off the ground, look inside.
First lead for Syracuse. I can't blame Schneider for standing on his head and giving up rebounds on those particular shots. Somewhere along the line, a defender's got to come up with a contested ground ball. But how about Donahue, his second goal? Rice, 3 assists. This Orange attack as advertised.
24th game that Kevin Rice has picked up 3 or more assists. Johns Hopkins gets the face-off win, now trailing for the first time with the final minute. Out of timeouts. Do they hold for 1? Reed through the substitution box. Gets picked up by Grimm. So now Reed was a playmaker last week against the Cavaliers. He takes Grimm way out near midfield, but gives it up to Catoni. Now they're trying to shut off Reed. Under 30 to play in the half. Tinney attacking the pole. Now they put the pole back on Reed. Tinney down the alley, can't get back to his left. Catch by Brown to his left. Wild shot, but Stanwyck there for the backup with 11. Got to go quickly now. Feed inside, they can't make the catch. Good team defense there by Joe Gillis. And that'll do it. Nope, 1 second left, excuse me. And Brown was going to try to take advantage of it, but Wardwell makes another save. So a very physical and well-played first half. The Orange head to the locker room, up a goal. They have won 17 straight when leading at half. Let's check in with Paul.
Coach, what was the biggest development in that first half for you guys?
You know, I thought we did a poor job defensively covering cutters. You know, they're doing a good job whenever the ball's in one corner, the opposite corner out top's cutting. We're not doing a good job on cutters. Just fundamental stuff. We're not beating the whistle. You know, we give up a goal because we don't check up, and then we give up another one. We pick up a nice ground ball, we throw it away. So it's just simple fundamental plays.
That's defense on the other end. What do you need for your offense in this second half?
We just need to settle down. You know, we're getting good opportunities. When we have the ball, we're getting good opportunities. We just got to settle down and work our offense and just be patient, not take the first available shot, but actually take the best one.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
The Blue Jays have dropped 4 straight quarterfinal games. They're going to have to come from behind to stop that losing streak and book a trip to Philadelphia. A big second quarter for Donahue. They lead by 1. Let's join Anish Shroff for the NCAA Studio Update. The Men's Lacrosse Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. From Annapolis, one half is in the books between Hopkins and Syracuse. A trip to championship weekend on the line. The Orange lead by 1. We are moments away from the third quarter. Let's check in with Paul Carcaterra.
Coach, one of your stars, Nicky Galasso, was hitting that second quarter. Why were you so upset?
Well, we thought it was a bad pass and the ball was beyond him. He took a pretty good hit, so he could have got hurt, and I thought it should have been a penalty.
You look at their offense right now with their shooters. What's been the biggest challenge defending them?
I think that we've had a little bit of miscommunication ourselves. You know, a couple of those inverts that came around, and we didn't have any help there, especially the one on Brown coming around the short stick. So I think we have to talk a lot better and be ready to go quicker on those.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Paul, thanks. Now rejoined by Quint Kesnick. And Quint, we mentioned how warm it is. Basically, it seems what defense is going to come up with one more stop?
Yeah, and which team's going to play more players effectively? You saw Syracuse score with their third midfield in this ball game. Hopkins kind of running the same guys out there. And when they've substituted defensively, they've paid the price for it. They've given up goals. You can't sit in the zone. That's the thing. If you're Dave Petromalo, you want to slow things down and take a breather. Go zone defense, and Syracuse will make you pay. Let's
take a look at how both teams are planning for success in the second half, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Eric Schneider, key was 55% with rebound control. He's been at 56. The rebounds have been plentiful, but Syracuse has only capitalized once. Faceoffs have been a pretty good story if you're a Johns Hopkins fan. Ben Williams can be lethal. He has not been.
For Q's Q, I thought Galasso was spectacular in that first half. Henry Schoonmaker with the outside shot, the midfield stepping off. The off-ball defense. Syracuse making Hopkins ball carriers, dodgers and initiators. The Hopkins offense predicated on ball movement and finding the guys inside. I think the Q's defense has been pretty good off-ball.
So Wells Stanwyck needs his running mates to come join the party at the attack as Kennedy wins it forward for the Blue Jays.
This is a rivalry, Eamon. Iconic programs, world-class players. Schematics and making adjustments aren't what decides a Hopkins-Syracuse games. It's the great players at clutch time making the plays.
Petromalo said it's two schools that care more about the sport, that have fans that care more about the sport than any other schools in college lacrosse. It's defined by big games and big moments. Now Reed with a full head of steam at McCartney. Down the alley, hands free, save Wardwell. Made it look easy. 9 saves now for the senior. Get into the box and get it to Donahue.
Hey, regular here, regular! I saw!
This first 6 for Syracuse starting to figure out the Blue Jays defense. Galasso in the middle of the field, pulled by Pellegrino. Now Leckie throws a quick slide from Kelly. So now they have a short stick on Galasso. Let's see if they exploit that matchup here.
Double will come early from an adjacent man.
Now Stotts up top. This is Schoonmaker with Pellegrino on. Schoonmaker gets inside, saves Schneider. And he grabs the rebound. Carlini's got help in the middle of the field, but he keeps it himself.
I like the move from Schoonmaker, who's the bigger man in that matchup with Pellegrino. And he makes it basically a fight in a phone booth. Bodying Pellegrino, getting inside, but Schneider has been terrific today.
10 saves. A Massapequa, New York product. Back in 2006, his older brother, Doc, helped lead UMass to championship weekend. Championship weekend that year in Philadelphia. Now Eric trying to do the same with Johns Hopkins. Radzewicz gets a step around goal line extended, but shoots high.
Sophomore from Central New York, Cody Radzewicz, 8 goals this season, high percentage shooter at 44%.
Stanwyck against Mullins. Shack on the cut, gets above goal line, extended, and scores! Wardwell didn't see it. Stanwyck to Stanwyck, and we are tied.
Ball's on the left wing. Little front swing. D'Agostino, 83 in white, gets caught on the back post, and it's late to get there. There's the tail end, brother to brother. Family of 8 children, Baltimore natives.
Came into this weekend, the family, more than 1,700 career points. It started with Sheehan at Georgetown with 330 career points.
It's a lot of wall ball.
A lot of wall ball, of course. Steele Stanwick, the Tewaaraton Trophy winner, helping Virginia win the national championship in 2011. We could go on and on, but they've added to that point total here this afternoon, and 15th time this year they have combined for a gold.
All-name team as well.
Oh, tremendous. Covey, Coco, Wick, Wells, Tad at Rutgers with 55 points.
Find him, man.
Probably had some broken windows along with that wall ball, too. Evans can't handle the pass. Kelly's going to hunt him down, but Evans, nope, still loose. And he loses it. Will this be over and back? It is. New rule once you have possession. And now there's delay of game on Evans. A mental error compounded by the frustration. Or was it Strong Young who batted it away? My bad. But a new rule, once you have possession in the box, you can't go over midfield, much like basketball.
White, 2-7, 30 seconds, delay a game.
Love this defense, 35 in blue. Look at the aggressive attitude. You commit to the loose ball right here, you may as well just stay on it. He hounds Evans into the turnover, and then 27 in white kind of loses his cool and gooses the ball away from Ryan Brown. Hopkins is dangerous off of those quick restarts.
Brown's dangerous on the extra man, and so is Frazier. His 10th extra man goal of the year. Blue Jays back on top.
Q, we were up in the Dome in early March, and Frazier with an absolute laser display, 4 goals against the Orange in the first game. You think they'd press out, have some heightened awareness when he is on the extra man unit, and you don't go out and play his gloves. This is what 100 miles an hour, changing levels, looks at when you're a goalie.
You can't see it, you can't save it. I was at a Hopkins practice in early January, and I asked assistant coach Bill Dwan, who is that freak of nature with that left-handed shot? He goes, this is 6'2" freshman we got from Walpole, Mass. Frazier, his 10th extra man goal this season. I haven't seen a goalie be able to track that high heat.
He had a goal against Syracuse in the regular season, like Paul mentioned. All 10 of his goals in his freshman campaign are on the extra man.
The problem is that
Kennedy wins it forward. Again, we mentioned it. Is Williams getting gassed? Do you send Cal Peduta out there to take a few to give Williams a break? How quickly momentum can turn. Out of the locker room and firing, and again, you mark that extra man goal. There was started with a turnover, and then a delay of game. 2 unforced errors by the Blue Jays.
Come on, D.
Tinney spins back to his left. Nice pass to Reed. Shaq feeds inside. One more out to Wells.
Zone D for Syracuse.
Brown. That little shot. With Shaq Stanwick.
And now they'll reset their D, aiming back into their man package. Kind of lost their bearings there. Now they're calling Bama. I think that's their zone call.
Leland Rogers, the defense coordinator for the Orange. Low shot, save Wardwell. He saw that right off the stick. And he comes up with the loose change to start the clear. 10 saves for Wardwell. Sun again breaks through the clouds.
Really humid.
Yep, stamina and depth will be a factor as we go back and forth here.
Brutal freezing winter, lack of spring, and we're right to summer for these athletes. This is a test. Lacrosse, a running game.
slide to Leckie. Nice feed, picked off. Good job recovery by Phil Castronova getting inside and his stick in the passing lane. And now he's got to go guard Donahue. Pellegrino doesn't commit to the slide, so Donahue commits to the dodge. Saves Snyder. Up ahead to Pellegrino. 11 saves for Snyder. No numbers for the Blue Jays.
Left side of your screen, angle play. Just like a hockey goalie, a lacrosse goalie's got to take away that near post with body and stick. Force the shooter to the far side, far post. Snyder moving his feet, seeing the ball. Amazing turnaround for him individually. As I said earlier, 43% at one point this season, 4-6 overall record. Last 6 games has been more than 60%.
Coach Petromalo saying one of the most enthusiastic goalies he's ever had. He said, look, we don't need that now. Just stop. Stop the shots. Be the leader of the defense. Up top, Eisler. Draws the switch. It will look like the refs were digging for the flag, but they were just getting out of the way. Now Radzewicz being guarded by Gillis. Forces the switch. Now Stanwyck being guarded by the short stick. Quick slide, feed to the crease, slam, dunk. That's why they call it execution. 3 straight from Hopkins to start the third. We were waiting for Shaq to come alive, and he has.
The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. You and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together. And in part by Quicksilver from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, every day.
Welcome back to Annapolis. There's a look at Steele Stanwyck, the Tewaaraton Trophy winner at Virginia, led the Cavs to the 2011 title. 269 points in his 4 years at Virginia, and of course, his brother's having a big second half right now. Big game here.
Yeah, Wells opened the scoring earlier today with 3 consecutive goals to give Hopkins a lead, and since then he's become a passer, really finding his brother Shaq, the highly recruited freshman, #1 recruit in the country from inside lacrosse. 32 and 42 have been destructive for this Syracuse defense. There's Shaq, the dad, as we said, 8 children. These are the active Stanwyck family members currently playing college lacrosse.
They came in as a family with 1,709 career points. We'll give them 8 more right now, so that's 1,717. The father, big fan of the sport, and that's what the family did.
He does. You see they don't use conventional mesh. They'll use leather stringing that the dad spends hours creating and crafting and fixing. And they're also known on Sunday mornings you'll see him up in Homewood Field, drilling with a bucket of balls. And that extra time, whether it's in the backyard or on the field with Pops, has paid off. It's a lot of tuition. Do the math, Eamon. When you got 8 kids, 32 years of college with some aid there, woo, big bucks.
You got a high school game we can call on the way to the airport to help pay for that tuition? So violation whistle against Syracuse on the faceoff gives it right back to the Blue Jays, who are feeling it. 4 unanswered goals by Hopkins to start the second half. Catoni beats Wardwell.
It all starts with the face-off game. Syracuse Ben Williams has been 68% this season, but on days when he's 50-50, this defense is exposed. This is the first soft ball that Wardwell has given up today. Watch the goalie's reaction. Straight overhand bouncer. Sometimes tough to track that ball out of a moving target.
Johns Hopkins has won 10 of 19 faceoffs as Bobby Wardwell now and his defense have given up 4 goals in just over 5 minutes. This is a Syracuse team that has grown used to having the ball and winning that faceoff matchup as Williams pushes it forward and stops that run. This was similar to their win over Duke in the ACC championship, where they had to go back to how they've won in years past when they weren't dominant in the faceoff game.
Yeah, they're going to need to be better in terms of their offensive efficiency, goals per possession, because those possessions not falling out of trees like Ben Williams did as a transfer from Holy Cross.
It was Rice to Donahue to make it 7-6 late in the second quarter. That was Syracuse's first lead. So far here in the third, 4 straight by the Blue Jays. Looking to pull off the upset. Donahue gets underneath and scores.
His third, unassisted. He likes the matchup. You'll see the support from Johns Hopkins. The double team is a tad bit late. Underneath move, you shield your stick from the defender, bring it back into that shooting area, and trigger a quick shot. Dylan Donahue, redshirt junior.
Time now for a BioBlast on the son of assistant coach Kevin Donahue, brought to you by Sector Spider ETFs.
We talked about big extra man goals this season, with 15 coming into this game, and a chemistry with Kevin Rice that was honed during the summer in Manley Fieldhouse.
Coach Desko telling us this week, all summer long, he saw Rice and Donahue going to work on something extra. Now, as soon as you start to, oh, we got a Johns Hopkins player hurt. Pellegrino slow to get up. So Williams has won 2 straight faceoffs. Pellegrino down now to play defense. You wonder if the Orange recognize that and attack 34 in blue.
Get ready for Texas.
This will be followed by Carolina and Maryland. 2 spots in championship weekend up for grabs. 4 tradition-rich programs, but it doesn't get any bigger in college lacrosse than Syracuse against Johns Hopkins. Galasso now being guarded by a short stick. Leckie hands free, off the mark again.
See all 6 Johns Hopkins defenders within a 8 or 9 yard radius of that goal, really packed in their man-to-man scheme.
Galasso again being guarded by the short stick, draws the slide. Leckie loses it on the double. Kelly another ground ball. Here's Pellegrino. Galasso giving chase. Pellegrino's got 3 goals already this season, but Schoonmaker and Galasso and the transition. Now Reed on the redodge. Here comes Reed. Black actually shoots it wide. So defense to offense for the Blue Jays, and now they'll make some substitutions. Here's Crawley being guarded by McCartney. Eisler and Radzewicz at the midfield for Johns Hopkins. They lead by 2 with under 4.5 to play. Dave Petramala 7-3 in his career in rematch games against teams he lost the first game to. He improves to 8-3. He'll be back in championship weekend, snapping a 4-game losing streak in the quarterfinal round. Radzewicz tied up by Gillis momentarily. Shoots, hits Wardwell in the chest. And Wardwell comes out and grabs the ground ball. 11 saves for Wardwell, and you heard that one up here. McCartney on the clear, gets it to Donahue.
Heyman and Q, you mentioned the heat down here. From a depth standpoint, it's been tracking numbers. Syracuse has used 4 more players in this game. So if it gets into the 4th quarter, Q, that's a whole fresh midfield line.
It's great info.
And there's a moving pick call. So they didn't call the interference in the first half. And D'Agostino pushed the Hopkins player into the crease, but they call it there. 7 turnovers for Syracuse.
Left side of your screen.
Now Reed tied up by Furman.
It's best to deal with that type of perimeter defensive pressure by going north-south, not east-west. Attack pressure, don't run from it.
You know, along those lines of what Paul was talking about, the depth issue, if you're Dave Petramala and Coach Benson, do you play a little bit more methodical on the offensive end, forcing the refs maybe to put a timer on with the shot clock?
Eamon, I was listening in on the last huddle. Bobby Benson said, guys, we're okay at 15-second possession. We're great when it gets to 45 in a minute. So look for the longer possessions than for the look inside on the Syracuse defense.
There's Reed. Again, the parameters for the shot clock is supposed to be how we called it in the first half is how we're supposed to call it in the second half. Easy save, Wardwell. Not a lot of mustard on that shot by Catoni. And you wonder what the message from Coach Benson will be at the other end as it leads to a run-out opportunity for Furman in the orange. Quint, was that a good look by Catoni?
No, a shot caught is the worst turnover in lacrosse. Blue Jays fortunate not to give up transition.
12 saves for Wardwell. Now they get Fields back on Rice. So let's check the matchups as Barber comes through. He's picked up by Pellegrino. Now Weston being guarded by Castronova. Gets it over to Evans. Evans had a big day a week ago, has been quiet. Had that critical turnover that led to the penalty. Now they switch. Schuler on Rice, Fields on Donahue. They go back now. And he gets underneath, gets dragged down, stopped by Schneider. Let's see what the call is. No call. So Schneider denies Rice. Final minute of play of the third quarter, in which Johns Hopkins has outscored Syracuse 4-1.
Now you go slow here, work for the last shot of this quarter. No question. The second midfield group last week against Virginia, they were strictly invert. That is, attacking from behind the goal. We haven't seen that from this group yet today.
You'd have to think, Q, this will be all attack in this last possession. 32, 42, and 4. Stanwick brothers and Ryan Brown. Those are their money guys.
Obviously now they can hold for one at 20. Eisler. Now Shaq up top. Eisler with 10. Tough angle shot. Now 5 seconds left.
We're looking for Brown on an inside to out pop.
Wells scores. Let's see. They say it's good for now. Did he beat the clock? Wardwell. Very. It's just sounded. So many things to look at for this goal. You see the clock.
Ball has to be out of his stick at zeros. It is.
Clearly. Now where does he land? You can't.
We're not calling it a crease, so this goal, if reviewed, will hold up.
What an individual effort.
Did he land on that crease line? They didn't make the initial call, so they can't overrule a crease. What they can look at here, Eamon, is the timing mechanism. Was the ball out of his stick before the clock went to zero, just like basketball?
So for now, it looks like there's no conversation about it. A big third quarter for the Stanwick family, a big third quarter for the Blue Jays. They're up by 3 heading into the fourth. Welcome back to Annapolis. For Syracuse fans, memories of Ryan Young feeding the crease in Foxborough at the end of the third quarter as Wells Stanwick beats the clock, beats Brandon Mullins, and looks to avoid the crease.
Officials looked at it, and the only thing they can look at is if the ball is out of his stick before the clock goes to zeros, it's a good goal. They cannot review whether this is a crease violation. He leaves his feet, Does that left elbow hit?
I don't know.
Hit the crease there. It's a tough angle. Both officials, and quite frankly, they've had a tough day. These officials have. So there should be 0.9 seconds on the clock, maybe a 1 second for a face-off to end the third quarter. Yet we start the fourth quarter.
I think even if you could review that crease call, you wouldn't have indisputable video evidence to overturn it. Maryland scored a goal with 1 second left at the end of the third quarter in the 2011 quarterfinal meeting up at Foxborough. Grant Catalino won that game for the Terps in overtime. But now, the Syracuse team that has lost 4 straight when trailing after 3 needs to rally. Kevin Rice and the veteran teammates echoed his sentiments earlier in this year after the loss to Bryant in the first round. He said it's championship or bust this year. This is a proud program. It's the #1 team in the country, not the #1 seed. Looking to get back to championship weekend. And it starts with Galasso being guarded by the shortstop. Draws a quick slide from Pellegrino. Rice will take a shot and he'll score.
Eamon, you mentioned a proud program. There's a lot of senior leadership on this Syracuse team. Don't expect them to go away quietly. 3 fifth-year seniors at the midfield, including this man right now, who's one of the best players in college lacrosse, and Nicky Galasso, #5, feeding the quarterback and undisputed leader of this offense, Kevin Rice, showing some range, known as a feeder, Q.
A little bit of a late approach by 2 Hopkins defenders. Rice Baby's going to law school next year at Wake Forest. Brilliant student, and he has always been a player that I've loved to watch. He's so smart, great sense of timing, involves his teammates, true sportsman.
Well, to go back to Paul saying if this Syracuse team is going to go away, I mean, they never go away. Kevin Corrigan last year called him the Terminator because you can't kill him. This ball game far from in the win column for the Blue Jays.
The game, and everyone knows if you follow Syracuse lacrosse, this is their season. They're built for this year. Next year, they're losing an awful lot of talent on the offensive end. Guys like Kevin Rice, those 3 fifth-year senior midfielders. Championship or bust, because those leaders have not won the championship.
And for the Blue Jays, they're looking to get back to championship weekend. They've dropped 4 straight in the quarters. Last championship weekend appearance for the Blue Jays, 2008. The Orange played for the national championship in 13, losing to Duke in Philadelphia. Now Stotts being guarded by Kelly. Refs letting them be physical here. Quick release by Donahue. Rare opportunity where he doesn't put it on Cage. And again, this Hopkins defense has logged a lot of minutes. Barber draws the slide and turns it over. Off the mark pass to Weston. 8th turnover of the game for the Cuse. And, you know, a lot of talk. Good ride, forces a bad pass, and Evans gets it back. Mark that turnover down. Good hustle, though, by Fields to get back into play. Now Pellegrino in transition. Has Carlini to his right. Gives it to Carlini. Gives it to Brown. Shot wide. They got it to 4.
You're seeing on both sides some sloppiness, and I believe that that's tied to fatigue.
1000% Q. I'm right in the middle of it all in the box. These guys are spent.
Will the offenses be able to take advantage? Tinney. Here's Catoni ripping a goal. You didn't like the last shot? How do you like this one? 99 says.
Turnover City, early stages, fourth quarter, both ways. Headman pass, aggressive perimeter defense. You try to force the ball, Nice hustle on the backside by the Blue Jays. Pellegrino's off and running. They execute the fast break. Brown misses the goal. On the reset, look at the Syracuse defense, how condensed they are. Little step back from Catoni. And he beats Wardwell.
Sweet shot by Catoni. And after the last time he was stuffed, I heard offensive coordinator Bobby Benson talk to 99 in blue. Don't shoot at his stick. Make him move. Go for those lower corners.
Moreland against Williams at the X. McCartney comes up with it, but loses his footing. Brown. Oh, what? What? How did that happen? They call the push after McCartney falls down, so the Orange will take it.
Hey, we're going right now. Righty, Tom, righty. Hey, lefty end. Hey, be ready here. I'm coming, Tom. Be ready underneath.
Fans wearing blue thought Brown had the ground ball. Fans wearing orange say absolutely there was a push inside.
Left side of your screen, here's the scrap. There's the push.
But he comes up to his feet. Now Rice being guarded by Scher. Fresh legs against one of the best players in the country. And you see Black trying to shut off Donahue, but to no avail. Matchup advantage all over the place for the Orange. Schoonmaker jump shot, easy save, Schneider. So the Orange failed to exploit some matchup advantages, and now Castronova touches it up in the box for the clear. Now do you work clock or do you keep attacking with 10:38 left?
You attack within the confines of your patient offensive system. As Clark said earlier, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, a minute. You ask this defense to make multiple decisions and to defend through fatigue. Eventually, teams tire and make mistakes.
We'll go with the second unit, as Quint mentioned last week, was all inverts. Eisler, Radzewicz, and Crowley. Here's Eisler. Radzewicz being guarded by Messina.
Right-handed player, 10 in blue.
Oh, Messina loses his footing, and Radzewicz takes advantage. So the Manlius product makes it a 13-6 Johns Hopkins lead.
Cody Radzewicz, you mentioned, Eamon, the inverting ability of the second midfield. Traditionally, you like to attack up top. These guys from behind, it's because of the experience. Cody Radzewicz was a high school attackman. He knows how to operate behind the cage and dominate the one-on-one short stick matchup. No angle, no problem.
In the NCAA tournament, you typically see goals that are strung tight, and defenders have to navigate over the netting. And that time, the Syracuse defender caught at the point behind and trips through the air. Those nets are strung less tight, Eamon, and there's less to hop over. Paul, you know that well as a defender back there.
Paul mentioned Radzewicz's high school career at Christian Brothers Academy in Syracuse. 326 career points. His high school coach, the former All-American defenseman for the Cuse, Rick Beardsley. So mixed emotions for the coach, I'm sure, right now. This is alma mater. Down by 4. Leckie with his hands free. Schneider's seen it.
Shot selection, not good.
And now another run out for Carlini. Feet inside, save Wardwell. Mark that one down, 9:15. A doorstep opportunity to go up by 5. And the Orange get it back. Is that the play that sparks a Cuse run that we've grown so accustomed to with this group?
Left side of your screen, an aggressive pass inside, well handled. And Wardwell just matches up, stays big. Like his bounce, hop in his step, the focus. 13 stops.
Not sure if the coaches like that shot selection by Akeem Lecky either, because he's not running with the first group. Barber is. Of course, he could just be exhausted. You never know. Stop. And scores. And takes a pop.
Eight and a half to go. Get the sense we're just getting going here. Wardwell. Carlini with an aggressive pass. It's a great handle right there. But no change of levels, and Wardwell just matches up against Stanwyck. At the other end, Stotts against a tired defender who takes a poor angle and can't cut. And he just runs circles around him. Watch the crossover at the end. Nifty finish.
Q, a lot of guys would have shot that right away. Not Randy Stotts. He is so smooth and patient around that crease area. He took another step, took another second to get a better look at the cage.
So we questioned whether Ben Williams would be fatigued or not. Syracuse has won 6 straight faceoffs, and there's a jump by Kennedy to make it 7 straight. You want to talk about depth and fresh legs, they go right back to the first midfield group. There's no messing around now. You are going to live or die with your guys.
You think about training all fall, all December, January, February. Practice starts. You run, you lift.
Save! Schneider laying out to stop Golasso, his 15th. Gets it to Kelly. When we came on the air talking about the roller coaster year for Schneider. You know that position better than anybody. What do you see from him now that maybe wasn't there at the beginning of the year?
Fundamentals, I thought at the beginning of the year he was flopping, guessing. That is going down too early on many shots. Now he's become more of a reaction goalie, trusting his fundamentals, holding a higher stand-up position. And his rebound control today has been terrific. That has been an issue for him all season.
Reed, Tinney, Catoni. The first midfield group for Dave Petramala out there. Here's Tinney. Draws a switch. Now they pull Catoni.
55 in blue, Joel Tinney, freshman from Canada, via Culver. Fiery competitor.
Culver Military Academy in Indiana near South Bend.
This moment's not too big for that freshman.
As we mentioned, he scored the game-winning goal in overtime against Penn State. That might be the most important goal of the season so far. Helps spark this turnaround. Shot clock on for Reed and the Blue Jays. Reed down the alley. One more. Now they're patient. Catoni can't make the catch. They come up with it with 15 to shoot. Now 10, no panic. Reed. Inside feed, nobody home. So the Orange will come up with the turnover if they can complete the ride, as Brown hasn't given up on it, and he forces a tough pass, and it'll go out of bounds for the turnover. No, Young keeps it in. Wardwell's still in. Wow. Finally, it goes out of bounds. Do you take a timeout here, either one of these coaches? No timeout taken. This is a tired defensive unit out there with under 6 minutes to play for Syracuse.
I think that's smart by Dave Petramala, Eamon. He knows these guys in white right now defensively are toast. You see the guys subbing through the box. On offense, 11 in blue, Kieran Eisler. He's fresh.
No! And he beats his man. Save Wardwell with the chest. Mullins with one hand on the ground ball loses it. Still loose. This is what it's all about. The GBs, and it's still loose. Feet on the crease. Did he go in? Goal is good. John Desko again. Unhappy with the officials. That look says it all.
Second and third chances by the Blue Jays. Ground ball here, Young comes up with it. He's taken down, no call. Blue Jays pounce on the loose ball, jam it inside. A possession that wouldn't end for the Orange.
Hopkins 5 minutes and 34 seconds away. from returning to championship weekend, and right now for Syracuse, failed clears being a big problem.
There's a sign in the Hopkins locker room. It says, "Fatigue makes cowards of us all." Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. A failed clear leads to a second chance opportunity. Now watch 27 in white garner this loose ball right there. In my estimation, that's got to be a loose ball push. He's taken down. You think it was clean?
It just looked like he might have misstepped on his own. That's a tough call right there. I could see your point, but on the replay, it looked like he was gonna. It was a check. It's a check that led to him falling down, which we've been trained to take as a call that has been called for most of the season. Now, if Ben Williams ever wanted to win a faceoff, he's won 7 straight, but his offense needs the ball right now.
Yep.
Still loose. McCartney can't come up with it. Schoonmaker can't come up with it. Now McCartney does. And again, it's going to be Leckie, Galasso, and Schoonmaker.
Hey, action inside. Watch it.
Rice being guarded by Fields. Fields recovers. Good one-on-one defense.
Go!
Now he doubles Stutz. Ball still in play. Step down opportunity for Schoonmaker. And it hits the crossbar. 4:52 left to play. Donahue gets underneath and he can't bury it. Rice closer to the ball, when and where. Now Rice. Schneider ready for that quick release. That ball's going to stay in play for Carlini. He's got an open man in the middle of the field and he finds Castronova. Leckie, Schoonmaker giving chase like their careers are on the line, because they are, and Dave Petramala gets the timeout with 4:25 left to play. They got a look from Schoonmaker. Now it's time for our pick you up moment of the game, brought to you by Enterprise, and it was the exclamation point to a strong third quarter for the Jays.
Clock and game management. That is a hallmark of Wells Stanwick game. Realizes that time is not on his side. He's got to go now. Beats his man to the inside, gets that ball out of his cross before double zeros. The goal counts. That gave Hopkins an 11-8 lead at the end of the third period.
There's the Syracuse offense hoping to get the ball back. And the onus now is on the defense, Quint. Quint, 4:23 left to play, down by 4. A team that knows how to play patient has the ball. Too early to double? Too early to take Wardwell out of the crease?
No, I would not double with the goalie yet. Not until maybe 3 minutes to go. But I think defensively, you got to put your fresh guys, your fast guys out there and ask them to extend and start playing the ball carrier over aggressively. Maybe give up a shot. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Notre Dame and Denver have booked their travel plans. They're going to the city of brotherly love. They're racking up some frequent flyer miles with trips from Indiana and Colorado, but who will join them? North Carolina, Maryland to follow. Let's check in with Paul.
Tale of 2 huddles. Syracuse obviously panic mode, down 4 with 4:23 left. They're going to press out. How is Bobby Benson, the offensive coordinator for Johns Hopkins, going to counter that? Spread the field and keep the ball up top for as long as they can, Quinn. They're looking at the refs probably, whether you like to hear it or not, that they call the game the same in the first quarter and the fourth. They'll be quicker to hit them with a stall. So keep the ball up top and then get behind with it and run the offense and possibly attack. Like you said, you're going to have to think shot.
A trend that the Orange want to reverse here in the final 4:23 is the number 2 seed's inability to make it to championship weekend. 2009, the last time a 2 seed advanced. Twice Syracuse has been that 2 seed to be upset. 2010 to Army, last year to Bryant. Now on the ropes against unseeded Johns Hopkins.
Aiming the ball, staying up top, because it's harder to get trapped when you're playing in the middle of the field. You go behind, that double is coming quickly.
And they go behind. And now Mullins jumps on the switch. Still not a double. Wardwell still in the crease. Again, do the officials hit him with a shot clock? Who's creating offense? How long do they let him go? Katoni off the cut, feeds the crease. Oh, could that be the
Last time Johns Hopkins was at championship weekend 2008. The great Paul Rabel, his senior year. 6 goals against Syracuse in the national title. Not enough. Right now, the dagger might be a freshman with the last name Stanley. Ring a bell.
A pair of freshmen, Tinney, 55, the little dish inside, and more patience from Shaq.
Freshmen have really revitalized this program, as we see. Shaq's older brother, Steele. And again, Dave Petramala coming in 7-3 in rematch games to teams he lost the first round, excuse me, the first meeting to. The Stanwicks today, 8 goals, 4 assists.
Revenge has been a huge storyline in this year's NCAA tournament.
And there's a takedown. That'll be an easy call against Castronova, so Syracuse will get the ball back. Ben Williams doing his job. He and his wingmen have won 9 straight faceoffs. They have not led to goals here in the second half like they normally have for this group that won the ACC tournament. Still plenty of time left for a group that can score quickly. Galasso against Castronova. About to get triple team, doesn't matter. Drills it in the corner. Says hold off on the eulogies and the obituaries right now. We're still in this ball game.
His 8th hat trick of the season. Look at him use the defender. Understand that he's on his back, but he's not in his shooting space. Turn quickly, and a lefty, absolute laser, finds the top shelf. Galasso's had a wonderful senior season, his 36th goal.
The roll dodge is where all the momentum came. Quint, he went from right to left. As he went to his left, it was giddy-up time.
And you saw that look on Dave Petramala's face. He knows this one is far from over. Moreland against Williams now. Moreland sends it back. D'Agostino. 2 poles out there for the Orange. Now there's a push. They're letting them play right now. And Syracuse gets it back. How quickly do you have to attack? Down by 4 with under 3 to play. Stotts. Wheels back, scores. Here we go.
So slippery is Randy Stotts. All right-handed, but it doesn't matter because if you overplay his dominant hand, he can throw an array of stick fakes and tricks behind the backs. This time, you see the overplay by the defense. He uses that to his advantage, slips underneath and keeps his angle. Overplaying right there. Then the slip, the goal.
Textbook inside roll. Planting that left foot, rolling back, feeling the trail check. Schneider came off the inside post. Stotts had made a living today on the far post. Goaltender maybe a little guess there.
Hopkins goes back to Kennedy. He pushes it forward and comes up with the possession momentarily. And Dave Petramala with the timeout. Dave Petramala, you see, still worried, still upset that there was no push call on the previous face-off. And the ground ball that led to the Stotts goal. Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the NCAA men's lacrosse semifinals on May 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA men's lacrosse semifinals, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. This is the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. Whatever you want to call it. Red Sox, Yankees, Lakers, Celtics, Cowboys, Steelers. Once again, Quint, Syracuse, Johns Hopkins, not disappointing the fans.
5 times these 2 teams have met on Memorial Day. 20 championships between the 2 schools. Expectations, the highest standards, mutual respect. This The ACC champs this year against the Big Ten champs in the 54th meeting in a series that in the 80s really defined this sport.
Let's check in with Paul.
Dave Petramala right now not concerned with the offensive possession. He's looking forward right now. Talking to his defense in that last huddle. Said, guys, stick to the basics, tendencies. How is number 5, Nicky Galasso, scoring a left-handed goal? He never shoots the ball right-handed. How is Stotts? How do we not have a slide and a double team to Stotts when he gets to that location? He knows that Syracuse will go after these guys hard. It's all about keeping it simple defensively.
How about offensively now with the ball after the timeout that they are now out of?
Run to victory, spread the field, but always maintain field balance. What I mean by that is make sure you have some midfielders top of the box, up near that big end here at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. So when you do, if you do turn it over, Syracuse doesn't have an easy run out. So maintain field balance, run to victory with confidence, spread the field, and taste it.
Starts with Wells Stanwyck. They're aggressively on the ball with Mullins. Of course, now the officials will play a role here as the net is empty, so they're going to double the ball right away with almost 2.5 minutes left to play. The net is wide open and it forces a tough pass. Will it stay in bounds for Brown? It does. Wardwell, look how far out Wardwell is. They're letting him play again. It's still in play. Still in bounds. Wardwell can't come up with it. Young shovels it ahead to Barber, who can't make the grab. What a hustle play by Barber, but Tinney's going to handle it. Again, the net is wide open. But they're content to work clock. Wardwell, nowhere near the crease. Johns Hopkins out of timeout. Ryan Brown's going to shoot and score. Now again with Ben Williams, that's part of the strategy because you most likely get the ball back, but you're going to get it back down 4. And Wardwell is gassed.
How many first-time ground balls today have Syracuse players fumbled or not completed the scoop on? This, again, is a second or third chance offensive opportunity with a defense that is 100% toast and gassed.
And that ball was sitting by the sideline with Wardwell and Young getting a crack at it for about 10 seconds.
Barber drops the balls right to him and he drops it.
Yep. That's right. So now, down by 4. The last time all 4 top seeds advanced to championship weekend was 05. Johns Hopkins right now hoping that trend continues as another ground ball goes out of bounds, leading to a Johns Hopkins possession. This was a team, Johns Hopkins, at 4-6 that the lacrosse world wrote off. Now they are 95 seconds away from returning to championship weekend.
They were 4-6.
And on the ropes.
Games they gave away to Princeton and Virginia. A defense that was porous, to say the least. Turning point, Penn State. They win in 2 overtimes. Come back the next week, 2 weeks later at Maryland, and finally play with that sense of urgency and that emotion that you're waiting to see from this team. It looked like they were having fun again. Put up 15 against a very good Terps defense.
And Wells Stanwyck, one of the veterans who knew time was running out. You always talk to coaches, the seniors can see the finish line, has picked it up today.
Being covered by some pretty tough defenders down low, and I think he's shown some strength, a fearlessness approach to get to the middle of the field, to deal with defensive pressure. He had a hat trick to start this ball game, and the senior captain set the tone. His brother Shaq has come on now in the second half. He's got 4 goals.
Wells Stanwyck playing his final games at Johns Hopkins, saw his brother go to championship weekend and win it all in 2011 in their hometown of Baltimore. He is our Capital One player of the game. 4 goals, 2 assists, a consistent season. What a moment this must be to have an afternoon like this with your brother. And now, looking to bring Johns Hopkins all the way back to championship weekend. And the crowd sensing the moment too. They lost to Syracuse 13-10 in the regular season. This was a team, as we mentioned, at 4-6 that looked nothing like a Final Four team. Now, it's in the stick of Tinney.
6 years without a Final Four. To some, it feels like decades in Baltimore.
4 straight losses in the quarterfinal round. One here on this field to Maryland. Denver up at Hempstead. Last year to Duke. The Virginia loss. That could quickly become ancient history as you preserve this lead and book your trip to Philadelphia. Net again empty.
Delayed substitution on Johns Hopkins. Syracuse ball.
Again, when you can play make it, take it with these offensive players, you make up the deficit quickly. Kelly giving Stotts nothing. Golasso can't make the catch. Schoonmaker now to Golasso. Taking too long, but he makes the pass to Rice. Too long, but the right play. 16-13. What a game by Golasso and Rice.
Ocean offense. This team has shared the ball really well. Golasso will catch this ball from Schoonmaker and really had thoughts about ripping it, but sees the over-aggressive approach, draws two, and Rice positions himself as we go forward to a huge face-off. Can you win 3 in 56 seconds?
Interestingly enough, they go with 2 poles. The ground ball more important than creating offense off the face-off win.
If you're Hopkins, think defensively here. The draw man wants to slide down the line.
So Williams pops it forward. But he overruns the ground ball. D'Agostino does not. Now Syracuse has a timeout left. They don't take it here because they like Rice, who's going to draw nothing. Feed inside, shot in the goal. Schoonmaker. As we said, they will not go away. .34 seconds left.
2 face-off wins in 34 seconds. Feasible. Here's the win. I was surprised that Williams able to pinch and pop this out the front side, and no one from Hopkins is in the hole. Blue Jays fortunate that Williams didn't scoop that up cleanly. Schoonmaker left-handed, Portland, Oregon native, future Chesapeake Bay Hawk.
And he goes right back to the wing, and now, Quint, to your point, Castronova.
This face-off guy has to step
There's
down
a great
the line.
look at your strategy here.
Top left of your screen, you see 22 in blue. He's going to take away transition. This draw man should take a heavy step with his right leg, slide down the line.
Violation, and it's a penalty. Third of the half on Johns Hopkins, so we'll get an extra man look for a team coming in, converting at 49%.
In-home 32. Blue, 3, 2, 30 seconds. Third face-off violation of the half. Sorry.
Oh, just a flinch. And then this big-time jump. Ain't over yet, folks. Again, Donahue, 15 extra man goals coming into this one. Syracuse converted on its only extra man opportunity in the game. Schoonmaker scored that one. And now John Desko is going to talk things over with one of the best extra man units in the country. Is it the strategy to go here?
I think he's trying to figure out an offense that doesn't require perimeter passing around the outside. I mean, you got to step into the box now and go.
In 2013, they made it to the championship game before losing to Duke. Last year, upset by Bryant.
Coach John Desko talking to his extra man unit. Kevin Rice behind the cage told him to be patient, go for an overload, meaning the Syracuse 6 offensive players will shift to one side. They think the seam will be given to Nicky Galasso, 5 in white, and he's dual threat. He gets the ball and they come charging out. You know he has the ability to pass, but he also has the ability to stretch a defense, which we've seen this afternoon.
So Galasso at X behind the net. Don't sleep on Dejoux, the sniper.
Let's see if Hopkins throws a little junk or a gimmick at him in terms of a shutoff or some pressure, or they just stay at home.
Again, time is of the essence. Here's Dejoux. Gets it back to Rice with the look. Score! 23 seconds left. It's a one-goal ball game.
Watts 36 in blue. Up top. He's in good shape right here. The defender, though, sags too much. And Rice capitalizes. Nice little hop step. Change in levels, stick side low. Emotion everywhere.
3 goals in 33 seconds, which you go back to the shot by Ryan Brown. Sure, he scored to make it 16-12, but he opened the door for the face-off game to take a roll. And Ben Williams, who's been the X factor all season for the Cuse, digs in, down by 1. Leckie and Schoonmaker on the wings, needing offense. Moreland trying to tie him up for as long as he can. Does a little bit more than that. Comes up with the ground ball. But he almost gets picked off. Huge GB here. No timeouts left for the Cuse. 8 seconds left. Traffic jam with 5, 3. Tinney picks it off, and the Blue Jays are going to Philly. Let's go down to Paul, who's with Coach Petramala.
Coach, you were up by 4 goals with just a couple minutes left. They cut it to 1 goal. Describe the emotions of the last couple minutes of that game.
You know what? That's why Syracuse is a true champion. You know, they get down 4 and they're never out of it. And give our kids credit. They battled their tails off. You know, we're up 4. We put that last one in, and at the time we put it in, you know, I said to Bobby, I'm not sure that was a good idea. And it turns out we needed that last goal. So great job by our kids. I'm so proud of them. But tell you what, Syracuse is a heck of a team.
In the beginning of the season, a lot of people questioned your goaltender. Today, he stepped up with 15 saves. Why did you continue to believe in this kid?
Because I believe in him. I believe in the human being he is. I believe that he's a great teammate. And I believe that it was just a matter of him getting out of his own way. And, you know, sometimes as a goalie, that's a tough thing. It's like a hitter in a slump. You can't get out of your own way. And he played like a 5th-year senior today. I'm so proud of him, but I'm more excited for them than anything.
Coach, in late January, tragedy hit this program. You guys lost a teammate in Jeremy Huber, freshman from Nevada, the defenseman. Why is it so important for this team to feel this right now?
Our kids have been through hell and back. And, you know, to see this, to see these smiles, I mean, there were days where we weren't sure we were going to be able to get through the season. And our senior leadership was great. Our freshmen were tough guys, having to deal with our freshman classmate passing. My staff did a great job. You know what? This is just a great day for Hopkins Lacrosse and our fans and our alumni.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Coach.
Once again, the Blue Jays and the Orange play a classic in the postseason. And the Blue Jays will have practice tomorrow. Will it be to get ready for Maryland or North Carolina? That awaits. But right now, they'll celebrate a hard-earned victory over their arch rivals from Central New York.
One more week together. We got a lot to talk about inside our plans. We're not going there to be there. We're going there to win. All right, after me, repeat. One heartbeat. One heartbeat. One heartbeat. One heartbeat. One heartbeat. One heartbeat. 59. 1, 2, 3. 59.
So Eric Snyder 14 saves last week, 15 today. He helps book a spot in championship weekend for a familiar Final Four team. Johns Hopkins back in the Final Four. Notre Dame and Denver are already in. Will it be the Tar Heels making it back to championship weekend for the first time since 1993? Or will the Terps make it for the 4th time under head coach John Tillman? We'll be back to Annapolis for that one, but once again, our final score, Hopkins 16, Syracuse 15. Coming up next on ESPN2, Maryland against North Carolina from here in Annapolis. Now let's go to Anish Shroff for the NCAA Studio Update.